A game in which the Rangers, for all the world, looked like they may not score against a first-time goaltender in Devon Levi. They were down 2-0. They tied the game at 2, ensured the point going to overtime, but then in OT at 150, Jeff Skinner ended it.
I thought the Rangers did a nice job in the third period to really throw everything at this guy. It was beyond the moment where he was warmed up. He was still ready to play in the third period. 21 shots in the third period for the Rangers. And although they came in like a bit of a lamb, they finished like a lion. And Levi was up to task in overtime. I'll tell you what, I thought he covered the upper part of the net very well. The Buffalo Sabres, I couldn't tell if that was actually a save or a post. I got to look at that one again. I thought it was a save, but the call was a post. Skinner gets himself in alone. He's got a lot of skill. This is why Buffalo's dangerous in games like this. It's because they're not contending to make a playoff position. The expectations aren't there anymore. That's when they're dangerous. When the expectations and they get close, they don't play that well. It's all about when you play them. They had a rookie goalie in net that was playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of enthusiasm. That made it difficult. And the third factor in this one, to me, I thought the Rangers emptied the tank last night against New Jersey. I don't think they had a lot for this game, and that's why they started so slow. But the pride set in and the competitiveness set in, and they had a good third period. Not enough in the long run, but this is one of those games down the stretch that we've talked about that are tough to get up for, especially coming off of last night. Nobody can watch this hockey game and say it really compared to what we saw speed-wise last night in New Jersey.
Right, and for the Rangers now, consecutive losses for the first time in almost a month. They're at 99 points right now. That is 3 behind the Devils and 4 behind the Carolina Hurricanes. Rangers trailed to 2-1 into the third period, and then about midway through the period, it was Adam Fox off a goal-mouth scramble who was able to tie the game.
You know, I want to give the referees an assist on this one because the play wasn't blown down quickly. There was only 2 people on the ice that saw this was still a live puck. And Adam Fox, I thought, had a strong night because his economy of movement, he doesn't overextend himself. Once again, I thought a lot of the players gassed themselves out last night, so there wasn't a lot left. But he was one of those guys that because he can play with such a brain out there and an economy of movement, that he doesn't really gas himself out the same way. So he had that push, and there were enough plays coming to the net that resulted in the scoring opportunities. Here's the goal. This is a puck that could have easily been blown down, but the referee doesn't. And Fox knew where it was. The referee knew where it was, and that's why he didn't blow the whistle, but that's why Fox benefits from the goal there. Heads-up play. He had a smart night. He played his game well, and again, it's not enough in the end, but some specific players did have some nights that were helpful and push forward.
Wes McCauley and Jake Brink want to say thank you for giving them a kudo. They usually don't get them on the on any post-game show, much less from this guy.
Knock it off. I'm easy on the refs.
11 shots on goal through 2 periods, 23 in the third period at overtime. Kakko scored the first Ranger goal to make it 2-1 at 12:17 of the second period. Through 30 minutes of this game, the Rangers had a total of 5 shots on goal. They woke up after that. Kakko scored the goal. We're going to take a closer look at it through our film room powered by CDW and HP, and it's a sort of familiar goal from Kakko.
Yeah, it's one that really jumped out to me today preparing for this game because it's actually the 7th goal this year that Kakko scored off a broken play or a rebound. And last Saturday in Florida, I thought their line went through the process that we oftentimes talk about with Carolina, where it's building a goal and it's support early, where Lafreniere comes in. Harper's able to pinch here because support as the high F3 is Kakko. And then the skill level of Heedle's able to make a play here. And I feel like this is the opportunity where skill just shows up in a play. You don't draw it up a specific way, but you're doing the right things that lead to a goal. And in a lot of ways, the reason why we're showing it is because it looked a lot like tonight's goal. Schneider steps up at the offensive blue line here. Lafreniere reroutes himself, so he is the responsible F3. And when he comes in, he's thinking shot first. Heedle's trying to open up that lane by skating that path. But it's very similar to the Florida goal on Saturday, where it's a bump back at the goalie, and then Kakko comes in as F3, and he's able to bat that one out of air. But I just felt like these guys in this game were able to work that together. That's a playoff goal. I really like that goal because it starts several touches before the puck ends up in the back of the net. That's the theme. It looks a certain way. When you look at Kakko's goals this year, he does have the majority around the net. He's not a long-distance shooter like Zibanejad, but 7 of his goals, rebounds and broken plays right there. He's come a long way in that as his maturity to know when to dive in. So that's something, to me, that's a positive sign going into the playoffs.
Yeah, nearly half of his 15 goals scored in that manner. Lafreniere and Hedl the assists on that Kakko goal. 3-2 the final in overtime. Buffalo over the Rangers.